Greetings fellow Demon Slayers, this is Taimanin Mari here today with another video. For today's topic we are going to be talking about the new purchases that spooked us in the new update. So I'm going to go ahead and get right into that because we have a lot to cover. The first thing I want to look at is the White Almighty package. So here we have a new Asagi skin along with a copy of the Ultra Rare Sword and Super Rare Sword that are in her new Gacha, as well as 100 Taimanin stones. Looking at this, I'm going to assume you would be able to choose the color palette, whether it be the white skin or the purple skin from Demon Asagi. Overall, I think this is a nice addition because for anyone who's played Taimanin Asagi 3, she did wear this skin in game before going to battle. And overall, it was a really cool scene, and I really loved the purple aesthetic, so I'm glad to see it here as an option. Personally, I won't be getting it because I did just go crazy for Renko, but at a $31.99 price point, it's definitely not a bad buy. It's certainly a lot better than pulling to $150 to get your hands on the skin. So it's really awesome that they put this here at a singular price point for people to be able to obtain. So I would say this pack is worth it just to get your hands on the limited time skin. With that being said, we are going to move on to the White Almighty Gacha. Now before going into this, do be advised that the skin does not come in the Gacha. You can only get it from the package that we just showed you. So if you want the skin, grab it there. And then if you decide to go for the supporter or the sword, you can get them here, as drops are at 100 and 150 pulls. So with that being said, I am going to cover the new sword and supporter. We have here the Ninja Greatsword Orin. This sword will increase skill damage by 25%. On top of that, it will be able to perform a counterattack of 150% damage and knock back the enemies when dodging immediately after attack. So I'm assuming that means on hit, like when an enemy touches you and you see the damage. If you dodge, you would be able to pop this weapon's ability. I'm kind of thinking of it like an on-demand Fuma, how she does the knockback when you get hit. I just look at this as a way to do it with your weapon without having her equipped. I don't see a cooldown here, so I'm assuming if you can just buffer the dodge on hit, you will be able to get the knockback and the damage burst. The skill damage passively is also nice because it's a 25% increase. Overall, I don't think this is a bad weapon, but I do think that the Naraku is still the better choice, just because as long as you avoid getting hit, you'll be getting a 1% damage buff for every attack you land while not getting hit. So I just feel like this has a better upper damage limit overall, as I've stated before, and I feel like this is a good weapon to aim for if you're looking to main Asagi. Not to say the Orin is bad, it's certainly not. I just don't feel like you're going to be shelling out as much damage as if you wore the Naraku. But overall, I do think both swords are really good and competitive, so choose whichever one you prefer for your playstyle, obviously. The great thing about this sword is you don't have to worry about not getting hit, though I do feel like letting the enemy hit you and buffering a dodge after is a little... Like, I try not to take damage just because I don't want to die or I want to have more than 50% health at the end of the mission. On hard, the guys do hit really hard, so letting them tag you just to do this ability seems a little counterproductive, but I don't find it bad because it does offer knockback and a nice burst of damage. Next, we are going to look at the new supporter, the Battle Ogawa Asagi. Looking at this support, she is going to be able to increase your damage dealt with your ultimate by 20% at base. In her ability, she would briefly move at the speed of light, reducing defense of all enemies by 18% and slowing them for 8 seconds. I overall really like this ability because it synergizes well with the passive. If she is your main supporter, you would essentially pop her ability, give all enemies an 18% defense debuff, and then be able to hit them with an ultimate that is powered by 20% more than it would normally do, on top of them getting the defense debuff. So you'll be able to get some nice numbers with this. I also like that we finally have like some sort of damage passive for assist for like pure assist builds. Because if we look, we currently have Fuma, whose passive only really works with Sakura because she does have an on-demand snare with her ultimate dodge. And besides that, we're kind of have Yuna here, and most people would rather have some damage over healing, which is understandable. I feel the same. And the only other option we have here would be Hisui, which is nice to have. Like, I would probably use her over Yuna and Fuma if I wasn't playing Sakura. Because of the damage, reduction from bosses, it is nice. But again, it's not giving damage, it's just kind of filling the assist slot so we can get 3 and take advantage of those skills. So I do feel like the new Asagi is just better because she does give you that 20% ultimate damage. So moving back to her, I will say this, that ultimate damage is a drawback as well, because you take time to fill up your ultimate in this game. You're not just able to spam it, at least not in the current gameplay. So this ability is a dead roll until she procs her ultimate. Until your character procs your ultimate, rather. So keep that in mind when using this. You will be running with a dead roll until you have your ultimate. Ways to combat this is to pair her with someone like Momoko here, because she will increase your particle charge rate over time by 25%, up to 50 if she is level 5. Besides that, you would probably be looking to get some sort of particle charge on your abilities, because with this supporter, you're just going to want to be trying to take advantage of, the ultimate as much as possible. Otherwise, if she's not your main and you don't have her ability, she's kind of just sitting there as a dead roll, not really doing anything until you can ult. And even with her ability as the main, as I stated, I would try to pair it with the ult for maximum damage output on said ult. So she kind of just will be a dead roll until you can ultimate. That's my opinion. Maybe someone can shed light in the comments, or someone who's gotten to use this in the Japanese version. Maybe it's broken, I don't know, but I don't like having an ability that kind of sits offline for a while in RPGs. I like having stuff that's always active. Personally, that's my playstyle. But with that being said, I don't think this is a bad gacha to pull on either way. Like I said, it is a nice supporter and it is a nice weapon. So you won't have a bad time pulling here. And the fact that if you do decide to go to 150 pity, you will be able to at least get one copy of the weapon and supporter is a nice guarantee. I will also say I do appreciate that they put the gear here for the 150 reward, as opposed to doing like they did with Renko and putting her skin at the end, because that was just like insane, like having to pull 150 just to get the skin. I don't know if there was feedback and they decided to change it up for this to see how it sells and just made the skin a flat price, or if this is just like a one-time thing for this Asagi. But it is nice to not have to pull to 150 pulls to get your hands on the skin. You can just grab the skin to the side, and then if you decide to gacha for further copies of the weapon or want to get your hands on the supporter, you can do that without feeling pigeonholed into gacha for just the skin. So now that we've discussed that, I do want to talk about the real prize of this update, especially for people who are free to play. We do have new Halloween skins here, so I was asked to just kind of gloss over the skins in video and show them off, because some people don't have every character unlocked, so they just wanted to see what the skins looked like in-game. Now mind you, I am on the PC version, so there will be censorship on some of these skins on mobile. I'm not sure of the differences because I don't play the mobile client, but just keeping that advised, like the skins will look different if you play mobile, like especially like in the case of the Sakura skin. So first we'll go over Yuki. I love this aesthetic. It's a cute little vampire look. I love that they gave her bat wings on her head like Morrigan Ainsland from Darkstalkers. And we're just going to go ahead and sift through the colors and rotate her around so you can see what each palette looks like. So we have red and white, and then we have a purple and a black look. All really awesome. I love vampires and like werewolves and witches. I love all three, so the fact that these skins cover that is awesome. Next, we're just going to pick the hair. You see here, it would go back to her default hairstyle. But I mean, why would you not run with these adorable bat wings, right? So moving on. Next we are going to look at Asagi. And for Asagi, we do have a nice witch aesthetic here. It's super adorable. I think the skin really fits her overall. I love that she has like a Baphomet skull at her waist, and I love the little leg tattoo here. It's great. The witch hat with the feather is also a nice touch. And we're just going to go ahead, swap through the colors, rotate around so you can get a look at her. So we have like purple with a nice cotton candy pink. And as you see, everything on her, including the feathers on her hat, will mesh with that color. And then we have a pure white with purple feathers on the hat. And again, we're just going to rotate around. Really nice skin overall. Also, she does allow you to remove her accessories. So with her looking like this, which I think I probably prefer because it reminds me of Elvira. I don't know if you guys know who Elvira is, but basically this is it. This is what she looks like. So we're going to go ahead and same thing. Rotate around so you can see the skin without the accessories. And there we go. So that would be like a little Elvira cosplay for Asagi. And finally, we have the super adorable werewolf Sakura right here. So as you can see, yeah, this skin is really revealing. Keep in mind, again, it won't look like this on mobile. So just, be wary of your client, what client you're playing on, so you know what you're getting into when you purchase one of these skins. Because I'm not aware of the censorship. I just heard that this one is censored. So we will go ahead and sift through the colors. That is the only option for this skin. So we will have like a nice brunette with an off-white loincloth. And then we will have a nice purple with a reddish loincloth. This one kind of looks reminiscent of like Yuririchi from Bleach, like the color palette. I do have one issue with this skin. I feel kind of forced to run the black color. The reason being is because you may not notice it in video, but her eyebrows don't change color. They kind of stay like a grayish black. So when I swap through the color palettes, like right here, everything is brunette, the tail, her paws, and her hair and ears, but her eyebrows stay the same color, so it looks a little bit jarring. And then it's the same thing with the purple hair. It's a little harder to tell with the purple hair, but I can still see that her eyebrows are like an off gray or black. So the only one that would really be forgivable is the purple, because it's harder to tell. But I would certainly prefer the black color over purple, so I just kind of feel forced to use this color because of the eyebrows being a static color. Like, I would have preferred to be brunette overall, but either way, it's still a really nice skin. This is probably the one I will purchase if I don't decide to wail for all of them. This is definitely my favorite out of the three. With that being said, since the skins are 350 gems and limited time, I would definitely say for free-to-play, try to get your hands on at least one, because it's 350 crystals. It's not really going to hurt your monthly farm, since we've already figured that you're going to get 850 a month if you do everything you can in the game. So 350 isn't a bad purchase. Even if you decide to get two of the skins from these characters, that 700 still wouldn't put you in the hole for the month if you really want to have two. But my advice is to definitely get your hands on at least one, since they are going to be leaving us on the 9th of November. So grabbing one of these skins is definitely worth it, just for the idea of it being limited. We may not ever see these again. They may have new skins next Halloween. So try to grab at least one. For whales, obviously grab them all so you don't miss out, if you can afford to do so. I would not suggest getting 3 skins as a free-to-play, because it would actually put you in the hole for the month if you do have over 1,000 crystals saved and you buy all 3. That would be above what you would be making monthly, so keep that in mind, because it will come out to 1,050. You'd be 200 crystals in the hole for what you can farm a month. So 350 is the best and safest. 700 is still safe. 1,050 to get all 3 as a free-to-play is going to put you in the hole. and you do want to be sparing with your gems because we don't know when Murasaki is coming. I believe she will be the next character. We don't know what new gachas will hold. We don't know what new mileage skins we'll get, like the Renko skin we have now. We don't know when we're getting another one. So the idea is to try to save your gems so that you don't get isolated and you're able to pick and choose something that you want. If the Halloween skins are definitely what you want, go for it. But if you're on the fence, I do suggest getting one, but don't go crazy trying to get them all if you are free to play. With that being said, I want to go over one last thing before we end the video. In regards to the Yuki build I covered yesterday, I was asked if there's a super rare alternative that you can use if you don't have the ultra rare guns. I would definitely suggest using the Bloody Chaser as your main weapon because it restores HP by 1% of damage dealt with skills. The reason this is good is because this build is using Yuna, and she will be restoring HP, or additional HP, sorry, from all sources. So that does pair well. As you can see, yesterday we were using Ryun with the restore HP by 2% of HP given and stacking that with Yuna, and there were some pretty beefy heals if you did watch the video through. So with the Bloody Chaser on, that would just add an additional 1% to Ryun for 3%, and then it would actually add 1% to the Haraiten as well as the Raijudan. Now the Haraiten is a single hit, so you'd just be getting 1% back plus the Yuna buff. But the Raijudan, just like Ryun, does a multi-hit, and it is really big, as you saw in the video. It is basically Frieza's Death Ball. So I'm pretty positive that the multi-hits from the Raijudan would be proccing the lifesteal that the Bloody Chaser would give you. And since it is heals, it will be buffing it further because you would be wearing the Yuna supporter. So that would be definitely a nice way to sustain. If you have this super rare, it isn't really too hard to get. Like they seem to be pretty common. Like I have a bunch of them here. And then if you don't have an ultra rare weapon, any of the super rare weapons would suffice as your sub weapon. But overall, you would want to, at the end of the day, like in an optimal world, try to get your hands on the Greek Fire. Like I know that's not possible for everyone, or they're just waiting for it to drop from their weekly tickets, I get that. But when you do get the Greek Fire, it will definitely overshadow the Bloody Chaser because of the armor, the super armor damage it deals, as well as the damage buff you will get from skills when you pop the super armor. You definitely will want to just get this for the raw damage output it provides, as well as try to get your hands on an ultra rare sub as an optimal loadout. But in the meantime, yes, Bloody Chaser is a perfect substitute and will synergize well with the build. You will find that your Yuki is really hard to kill if you do run the Bloody Chaser, because it will basically turn all of your abilities into an on-demand heal that again will be getting buffed by Yuna herself. So I did want to just go ahead and answer that question that was asked to me and show off the weapon. I wasn't remembering the name at the time. So here it is, the Bloody Chaser. This is the weapon that you would use. So you have a physical look at it, what it looks like, and what it does. With that being said, I am going to end today's video. As always, if the content was helpful, please like and subscribe as it really helps the channel. And you guys have a great rest of your day, and I wish you all good luck in your gacha. Take care.